This is Good Morning San Diego.
Well, a 23-year-old Mexican citizen has been arrested after San Diego Border Patrol agents found more than 140 pounds of narcotics hidden inside her car.
Yeah, it happened last week at the San Clemente Border Patrol Station. When agents searched the woman's vehicle, they found more than $2.2 million worth of narcotics hidden under the floor. The packages contained cocaine, fentanyl, and heroin. According to Border Patrol officials, the fentanyl seizure in itself was the largest in San Diego to date. Now, this news comes just one day after Customs and Border Protection said its agents had made the biggest fentanyl bust in history in Arizona last weekend.
According to the DEA, 85% of the fentanyl is coming in through San Diego area border crossings.
And here to tell us more about fentanyl and how the drug relates to our San Diego schools is Vice President Mark Powell from the San Diego County Board of Education. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming in, because, you know, we're talking so much about fentanyl. Obviously, it's getting smuggled over the borders, and we're seeing its increased deaths from it, from people that are addicted. But how are you seeing it in the schools as far as from an education standpoint and the kids?
This first came on my radar screen when I found out 2 students in a local school overdosed on marijuana. Now, when marijuana tainted with something, so you're thinking, well, what could that possibly be? And fentanyl is obviously what it was most likely tainted with. And knowing that only 2 milligrams, roughly about 4 grains of salt, is enough to kill an adult. So it's a serious issue.
Well, we talk about we were just talking about that seizure that was made, and we've seen it's been blowing up on social media how this was enough fentanyl to kill 57 million people.
Well, it's not only is it a drug, it's a poison. And the reason why you're seeing so much fentanyl is because it's so much easier to make. It's actually a substitute for heroin. So a lot of drug dealers apparently are going to fentanyl versus heroin. And the reason being is that it's easier to smuggle into the country. I mean, you can just, they're driving it in. We're catching some of it, but you can't get all of it.
Yeah, you just need a little bit. So as far as the kids in the schools, I mean, are you educating the kids in the schools? Is this a topic you are taking up now?
Well, this is what happened. When I found out some kids overdose, look, in the County Office of Education, we believe that 1 overdose is too many. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to get teachers equipped with this right here. Now, this is called Narcan. So Narcan is a medication that can reverse an opioid overdose. All it is a mist, and essentially what you do is you just depress this once you've put it in their nose, and it's enough to stop the molecules, the heroin or fentanyl molecules, from latching onto the part of the brain that stops your breathing. So kids die if they smoke this marijuana that's laced with fentanyl. They can die. What happens is they just stop breathing, and it's normally 1 hour to 3 hours after they've, let's say, unwittingly experimented with some marijuana.
Wow.
Well, we know that a lot of law enforcement officers are now carrying Narcan on a regular basis. Is this in the classroom now? And if not, what is it going to take to get it in there?
Okay, that's a really good question, and that's why I put this at the forefront. I want to see what it would take to have all school administrators and nurses. I mean, we're talking about 42 districts, 500,000 students, 760 schools, I'm thinking junior high and high schools, armed with this. And if you put it in somebody's nose who's not having heroin or fentanyl overdose, nothing happens. I mean, they already have EpiPens.
Right.
So if you eat a peanut and you have an allergic reaction, you can die. So what if a kid unwittingly decides to experiment with marijuana on a Monday?
Yeah.
Should they die? No. And listen, I even got some pushback on this.
From who?
I got some messages, some emails like, what do you want, teachers now to be the first responders? We already have to deal with active shooters, we have to deal with sex trafficking, now we have to deal with fentanyl overdoses. But you know what? Yes, you don't want a kid to die. I don't want any kid to ever die because they decided to do something stupid like experiment with drugs.
Yeah, if you have the opportunity to save a life,
Oh, absolutely.
Probably jump at it. So where is it at then right now? Have you proposed this?
Okay, so our superintendent at the San Diego County Office of Education was currently working with DEA and other community agencies to develop policies and look into what it's going to take to train teachers in identifying what an overdose looks like, and also what it would take to get them trained and equipped with this Narcan.
Okay.
Keep us posted on that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We want to have you back as this progresses.
Yeah.
This is a big topic.
Hey, thanks for having me.
It's good to see
Absolutely.
that,
We're saving lives. That's what we do.
Mark, thank you.
Mark Powell,
You're welcome.
glad to know you're out there.
Thank you.